Look at you. She's actually got kind of a hot bod under all that tight-ass housefrau bullshit. I'm David.
Oh, wait, I'm Benny.
I mean, I'm Lenny. Or is it King? Oh, or is it my favorite?
Listen to me, David. David. What was I saying?
You were saying...
You were talking about how the death of your father affected you, and I think that's very brave.
Okay.
The power of this thing.
You're saying it has power, not David.
No. David is a very, very powerful mutant. He has to be, otherwise this thing would split him apart.
You're calling this thing it, but what else could it be if not another mutant?
An older mutant. Its consciousness separated from its body, you see, and living inside David for 30 years.
Somebody has mentioned Deadpool.
Oh, Professor X in Deadpool.
It's not for me to say. Well,
What about Professor X in Legion?
excuse me. Tell us.
Would you...
Excuse me.
So technically, Sir Patrick,
Yes.
plays my father. I mean,
Yes.
Professor X
Did you know
is
that?
David Haller's father in the Marvel Universe.
Right, this is huge.
So essentially, I've got a job offer.
This is massive. Are you in?
For Patrick.
Are you in?
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, this is...
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Legion Explainer Season 2, but you heard what you thought you just heard, Professor X and Deadpool, so I'll address that too. The Logan giveaway is still going on. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video, so careful for spoilers from Legion. If you don't care about spoilers, I'm going to explain who the villain is, 99% positive who he is from the comics. He's big comic book deep cut. The really cool thing about this, I know I put that Patrick Stewart clip there, he's basically talking about coming on Legion Season 2 as David's father, because he's his father in the comics. But the origins of the villain that I think this person is very tied up in the origins of the X-Men themselves. So it all comes back around. But to explain that, Aubrey Plaza secretly being the villain of the season, which I think is a great reveal. But if it wasn't clear from those clips I cut together, she is this person just hiding in a different form. I'm Lenny. No, wait. I'm Benny. No, wait. I'm King, the dog that David had as a child that his sister later said, we never had a dog. So the problem at the beginning of the season, we've been seeing this red. We just knew something really ominous was happening, but now we know the red represents him. He is a separate entity from David. The key scene explaining that, where we find out that he's a parasite, was actually in episode 4 with Jermaine Clement's character, which was so awesome. He was a hilarious character.
Don't worry. He can't get you in here. He? Your monster? He makes you forget.
How do you...
I wouldn't go out there. It's waiting. The monster. You brought it in here, and now it's hunting you.
There is no monster. It's just me. I know that. It's just me. It's my psychology.
Monster as metaphor. I like it, but wrong. It's part of you, that's true, but not like a symptom. More like a parasite.
Hopefully we'll get to visit him again in the astral plane during season 2, but he says, you brought your friend in here with you. He's been following you around. He basically explains that he is something else from the astral plane, which is where, okay, so here's the big reveal, the Shadow King is from the comics. So right now, all the evidence is pointing at that. At the beginning of the season, it wasn't quite so clear. Everyone was like, is this just a manifestation of one of his personalities? Because in the comics, Legion has 1,000 different personalities they can manifest in the physical world. That's what's going on with Carrie and Carrie. She's an aspect of him that manifests in the physical world. So in the last episode, the Shadow King takes over David's mind, uses his body and his powers to go apeshit on everybody, and then we see him manifest in the physical world. That was what the effect of him stepping through the mirror as Aubrey Plaza was. So the whole idea is that he's been trapped in David's consciousness without a physical form. He's been trying to find a way back into the physical world, and now it seems like he has, although he's in control of David, which is also the next best thing. The most powerful mutant on the planet, as far as we know, with limitless abilities. The ones that we've seen on the TV show are not the only abilities that he has, so he doesn't really need his own physical form, and he has powers that go beyond what David has. So it's sort of this dark god avatar married with this super powerful mutant capable of containing his essence. So literally in this moment, it's the worst possible scenario. David's able to take them to his safe place, but it looks like they're still not safe. And then when they jump to that circle of people talking, it's almost like they're saying the Shadow King has taken over all of their minds and they're now in a much different place. It just implies that they're all now in the thrall of the Shadow King. So it's like, oh my god, the big villains won, but it's only episode 5 of 8. So the idea is that at some point David will rally or go totally evil and either kick him out of his mind or he'll take over completely. The really important thing to remember is that when the series was getting started, they said it was the deconstruction of a villain origin story because Legion is mostly known as a villain in the comics. So the whole idea here is that David is not a villain yet, but to tie it back to Professor X, so the whole thing is that in the comics, the Shadow King starts out as this Amal Farouk character in the 1930s. He runs into Professor X, they fight each other, he becomes the inspiration for Professor X to create the X-Men. So Patrick Stewart saying that, 100% I would be happy to come on Legion, allows them to do David's real father because they just queued that up on the show with this scene right here where they say he was adopted.
My whole life is a lie. I just need to know. Who am I?
You were adopted.
Who?
I don't know.
So the big idea of season 1 is that David's going to have to defeat him inside his mind, and then we get to season 2, potential Professor X revealed, David, this is your real father, and it can get even trippier with X-Men canon. But the other big bomb that Patrick Stewart dropped, showing up in Deadpool. So regardless of what happened during Logan, no spoilers for that movie if you haven't seen it yet. It's set in the year 2029. Deadpool is kind of ambiguous about what the timeline is, but think of it as like late 90s to modern day, so more contemporary. Either way, it'd be a much younger version of Professor X. He dropped a whole bunch of F-bombs during Logan. They had that really funny joke about McAvoy or Stewart during Deadpool not wanting to be an X-Men. They could totally follow up on that. It was one of the best jokes from early in the film.
Listen, the day I decided to become a crime-fighting shit-swizzler who rooms with a bunch of other little whiners at the Neverland mansion of some creepy, old, bald, Heaven's Gate-looking motherfucker, on that day, I'll send your shiny happy ass a friend request.
Let us go talk to the professor.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
The funny thing about that is that Deadpool is a key part of the X-Force movie. His big thing is like he doesn't want to join a team. The X-Men are so stupid. So they'll probably weave that in with him forming X-Force, which is an R-rated version of the X-Men. So that'll be a really good opportunity for these characters to make fun of him again, because all these Deadpool characters have been confirmed for the sequel. They'll probably show up during X-Force 2, but I wouldn't expect Professor X himself to have a really huge part, just something really impactful, something funny in the tone of Deadpool and meaningful without completely taking you out of the movie. They're still casting Cable right now, so that's still a ways off, but you can let me know, how do you want them to use Patrick Stewart in the Deadpool movie? But what's going to happen next is I'll post my new Arrow video that might not be till Thursday morning. I have a new Avengers Infinity War video that I'll post after that. So a whole bunch of comic book stuff coming in the next couple days. While you wait for that, click here to learn all about Guardians of the Galaxy 2 post credits, and click here to learn all about Domino and Deadpool 2. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys in the next video.